Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Huge Updates, episode 8. And we are here this week with Studio ATMA. I'm going to do a quick roll call since there's so many people currently in the call right now. So, starting from Derek, go.
I'm Derek Blair. I'm the creative director at Studio ATMA and lead artist. Yeah.
I'm Tony Yang. I'm the software development lead. And next.
Who's next? Am I going next?
Sure. You
Yeah,
can...
TK, go.
Sure, okay. So TK Lee, I'm the other software engineer in the team, and about it.
I'm Zeke Fenelon, and I am designer.
This is it. I'm Willie Foam, lead animator.
Alright, and Pete, introduce yourself.
2K
Fantastic.
Oh.
Wait, 2D. 2D animator, right? Did I just say something?
You said 2K animator, so...
Okay. 2D animator. Yeah, you can say the other thing.
Okay.
Cool. So is that everyone now, I believe?
Yeah, and finally, Pete, introduce yourself.
Fantastic. So of course, you know, your kind of brand new game that you're kind of developing on is Gravastar. How would you describe the people who...
Oh, what?
Oh.
What?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I think he's died. I'll carry on.
Technical difficulty.
So for people who don't know about your game, can you just quickly do a quick...
Is it too old on the stream?
I can't handle conversations of this magnitude.
Oh, yeah.
We turned off video.
Oh.
That might help.
So we cut off the
let's
video. Is this helping?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be easier. Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, it's all
Okay,
slightly
cool.
coming a bit more clearer now.
Fantastic.
All right.
So back to you, Derek.
Awesome. Gravastar is a sci-fi fantasy JRPG that we're developing for PC and potentially consoles, hopefully, that combines a traditional JRPG aesthetic with a fast-paced battle system that's inspired by 2D arcade fighting games. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, because it looks really interesting. And you mentioned this kind of story. Could you kind of fill us in a little bit about maybe the overall plot or the world it's set in?
Totally. It's set on a fictional exoplanet named Ethera, and you are Baird, who's an orphan boy who has just discovered violently that he is a specter, which is a being with power tied to their own particular star in the universe, in the cosmos. And we are kind of following traditional Japanese RPG tropes and plot structure, but we're kind of doing it our own way and kind of turn it on its head a little bit.
Oh, so you might have told, of course, that we're quite a big team, aren't you guys? There's like 7 or 10 of you, did you mention, that were part of the game process and the development squad?
Yeah, we have a core team of 5 or 6, and then we have multiple contractors. We have a composer in New Zealand, his name's Chris Hearn, and we have a couple art contractors as well, and we are in search of another developer to help.
Fantastic. And how did you guys all kind of meet up, really, and start developing this idea?
I started working on it about 2 years ago. I started writing the game design document and kind of fleshing out the world and the characters. And then I just started trying to look for team members and met Tony. And from there, we kind of, and I've known Willie, who's the other animator on the project. I've known him since college, and I kind of met everybody through PAX Dev, which is a big dev convention we here in Seattle. PAX puts on before PAX Prime, which is a huge networking event, and from there we kind of put the team together.
Molded together, yeah. And you mentioned like an inspiration was the old style JRPGs. Could you kind of suggest maybe a couple that led to its development and the creation of the concept?
Absolutely. I think largely, as far as visually, we're going for Breath of Fire 3, Breath of Fire 4, just colorful style that is very fun and appealing to look at. Of course, Chrono Trigger is a huge inspiration to everybody, and if it isn't, it should be.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm a Squaresoft kid, not necessarily Square Enix, but Squaresoft for sure. Has been a huge influence on game design and in general.
And the art style has a fantastic, almost anime feel to it. It must be incredibly time-consuming, I imagine, to kind of build this artwork. What's the process?
Well, right now we do pretty much everything by hand. So all the animation is done. It's drawn every frame. Willie and I plan the moves out, and then we go through and we test our keyframes, and then we put in our in-between, and then we get a nice rough animation that we implement into the engine. Then we start to test, and once our principal animation done is for a character, we move into a cleanup stage, and we make it look really nice.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. How many like moves, like how many animation frames go into this animation? Because it looks very fluid.
So right now we're working on our demo, and part of the demo, each character has 6 playable moves. The total animation set per character is 24 animations, and each of those is between 8 and 16 frames, depending. So there are hundreds of frames of animation per character.
Damn, fantastic. Must take a long time. And how about the sound inspiration? Like, what kind of sound design are you doing for the actual demo and the full game itself?
Zeke, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, that one. I was actually a bit surprised when I hopped on this team because I was very much expecting to jump into like JRPG land 100%. And it actually, at least for like our demo and stuff, it's very much fighting game. Which I mean, I guess that's obvious after the fact, but I was like, oh, okay. So it's been a minute for me listening to a lot of fighting game stuff, and I actually was not a fighting game person. I suck at them really bad. But yeah, I mean, it's fighting games all the way is what I've been in lately.
Yeah, and also we can tell them about the like sound session that we had a few weeks ago.
Oh god,
which was super fun because all we were doing was crowding into Zeke's Zeke's apartment, and like he has got this like whole sound set up with like the like anti-echo like pads on the walls and stuff, and just like sitting in there going like yeah, and just saying like random like attack moves. It's pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, it was,
That sounds really fun.
yeah.
Is there any kind of particular sound effects that you're particularly proud of, or like voices that you've warped so far that they're almost indistinguishable?
Well, I will say that Derek can make some crazy monster noises. When you pitch them down a lot, it's ridiculous.
There's this one like lion thing that Derek was trying to do, and we pitch it down, and it just sounds like crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a short demonstration, Derek, at all?
Sure. It's essentially this. It's like, right? But pitch it down and slow it down, it sounds like the scariest monster you've ever heard in your life.
It's great.
Sounds awesome. So do you quite regularly meet up then, or is it kind of once every so often?
We have weekly meetings. We meet in our TeamSpeak channel twice a week, and then we meet in person as much as schedule allows. But yeah, we've had a consistent dev schedule now with weekly meetups for several months.
So how long has this project been going on for so far?
So it's been in production now for, let's say, probably 8 or 9 months. But I mean, I was working on it, over the last 2 years in my spare time, kind of doing all the pre-production stuff and outlining what we needed to build, and we've actually been building it now for about 8 months.
Fantastic. And when's the demo going to be available for us to kind of all get our hands on?
We are aiming for the demo to be available this summer. We're hoping to have it ready for PAX Prime 2016.
Nice. And how are you guys funding the project? Because of course it's quite a big scope. How are you kind of doing that?
It's all in pocket right now, and we don't. The contractors get paid, but the rest of us don't.
Wait, I wasn't part of this. What? No, I'm kidding.
By the way, Tony.
I'm just finding out now. Thanks.
Yeah. So,
would you ever go for funding?
absolutely. We're definitely trying to. We're trying to get a solid demo ready, and kind of go. We kind of want to skip the whole Kickstarter thing because there's been a huge shift in Kickstarter and how it goes, and the whole being transparent and all that stuff. And I mean, we're cool with being transparent, but I feel like Kickstarter's not as a viable as an option anymore. So we would like to hopefully pursue publishing options. That'd be the ideal situation.
Definitely. Is there any particular publisher that you're trying to kind of get on board?
We would love for Atlas. If you're listening.
Yes.
Atlas would be our prime choice, I think.
Good game
Yeah,
with
definitely.
Square
Didn't
Enix.
they publish Disgaea?
Yeah, they published the Sky and Square Enix. They have a Square Enix collective program that we've been in contact with, and basically what that is you submit the game and the pitch and like a video, and it goes into like a public forum through Square Enix, and the public votes on it. And if your game gets approved by then Square Enix will offer to assist you with the Kickstarter or put some money into your project. So we're also considering that as an avenue as well.
Yeah.
That's a really cool concept. Like, it's nice that Square Enix are kind of backing up developers and understanding that there's talent elsewhere apart from in their small, in their studio. And so far in this development, what's been the biggest hurdle? Because quite a big team, it's ambitious. What would you say is being the biggest thing to overcome?
Right now, it's just asset production because of the assets are so tedious and time consuming. Just kind of getting over that initial, like right now, the biggest hurdle is visual animation. So we're really grinding towards that, and because it's a JRPG, I think UI is also a pretty big hurdle that we're fine tuning. Yeah, pretty much the entire demo creation.
Yeah, and then I mean from the dev side, it's also a little bit of just like finding the right tools to make sure that everybody can do what they need to do and being able to like collaborate well. And so it's like right now we're using Git, but we've been exploring other tools that may come available that allow us to like say like, hey, like I'm working on this, you're working on this, and we can merge that together cleanly without having to have headaches every time that happens.
Definitely. And what's the game engine that you're using to build the game, or have you created your own game engine?
No, we're definitely using Unity for our game engine because I mean, you don't need to reinvent the wheel if Unity can provide us all the things we need. We might as well use it. So I mean, that's been working well. None of us were especially experienced with using Unity before, so it's definitely been a learning experience to like get used to all the tools that they have available. Just being able to use the scripting and all the Unity engine features.
Definitely. That sounds like a silly question, but are you using the 2D engine part of Unity, or are you using the kind of 3D isometric sort of side?
It's a mix of both. So we're assets in 3D space. So in our battle engine, we have, it's kind of like a stage setup, and it's very much like a diorama. So when the camera moves around, you get this really nice parallax effect that gives the battle environment.
Definitely. And you mentioned, of course, it's combo based, isn't it? That's like one of the main hooks.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a little bit on how that kind of how that comes about and how that plays out in the game?
Sure. So every character has a action timer that is tied to their stamina stat. So as you level up and you get more stamina, you have more time to perform actions in your turn. When you choose your character to fight and they go to the enemy, your action timer starts counting down, and in that window you have maybe 1 to 3 seconds depending, and you can input your combo moves. And then what you want to try and do is line up using the act list. You want to line up your remaining characters so that you can create chains.
That's cool. So did you use games like Disgaea at all as inspiration for the chain mechanic, or what was the chain mechanic inspiration?
The chain mechanic inspiration is largely kind of a take on Final Fantasy X's conditional time-based battle system, where you use slow and haste to line everybody up, and then taking hints from just fighting games in general and chaining your characters together and building big combos with the same kind of energy as Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Nice. So definitely using that fighting influence in a more conventional JRPG setting.
Yes.
And what's inspiration? What was the inspiration behind the monsters? Because they're really varied from the kind of screenshots that I'm looking at. Is it like each area has its own unique feel, or?
Yes. So the way we're developing is every zone will have its own tile set. We're working with we work with Golden School Studios in Germany, and they are our world artists. And basically every zone will have its own music and its own tiles and its own lore and its own monsters and stuff. And in the overworld, you navigate around the overworld, and there's more of an action RPG feel. And we're also developing our overworld system simultaneously and getting assets lined up. But there's no random battles, no random encounters, and you make your way around the world, and then you engage enemies. And depending on how you engage them, either one-on-one or from behind, it changes your battle initiation variables. So you'll have first strike, or they'll have first strike. Yeah, and the
So a
monsters
little bit
are
like Xenoblade, I'm guessing, by the idea of attacking from the side or behind.
right, exactly.
It's all very, very interesting, actually. I can't wait to kind of check the demo out.
We can't wait for you to also check it out.
Yeah, we can't wait to deliver it to you. So.
Yeah.
How's,
How many zones are going to be in the demo?
Right now, the demo is just going to be one zone, but we have enough assets to potentially create two that you could kind of run around in. And the way we're kind of building our overworld is like Secret of Mana without changing screens. So it just, we're trying to dynamically load the map chunks so that you just kind of have this nice overworld exploration experience. Like a 2D version of The Witcher, I think we've tried to like kind of,
Sounds awesome.
which, yeah, we're really hoping it pans out nicely.
Is that difficult to make? I have no idea how to go about doing that.
It requires a little bit of like ingenious, like loading and unloading of like assets like on the fly. But I mean, it's not too bad. We just have to make sure that it doesn't cause any locking to go on. Which I don't know. Are any of you guys programmers? Or
No, sadly not. That's one thing I can't do.
okay, all right. Well, then it's just making sure that when you're loading up new assets or unloading assets, it doesn't cause the game to pause, and then you're just like, wait, why is this like locking up right over here? Yeah. So I mean, it's not too difficult a problem to solve, but it definitely does have like issues.
so
And also with the demo, will there be a kind of influence of story, or will it be very much more based on the combat?
It's largely based on the combat, but we are tying it into an actual story zone to kind of ground it in the world and try and make sure that we can get that immersion. So you get a feel for how the overall game will be.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're getting ready for like PAX. With this demo, will that be the first time that you'll actually have like actual feedback on your game?
We are hoping to get into a small indie games festival here in Seattle in May called iFest. And that would be the very first time we would get public beta feedback, and then we'd collect metrics, and we'd use that to kind of help fine-tune our demo leading up to PAX.
Yeah. Because that's going to be very interesting because like we keep hearing this like thing of just like using PAX as like a very like just a very easy way of
Testing
doing
ground,
public
isn't it?
public beta style stuff. So it's fun to keep hearing that kind of like just idea of like not only is PAX a great way of like getting hands on new games, but it's also a great way for developers to get like open beta access in a roundabout way.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And one of the great things about it too is that like, especially since gathering metrics is getting easier and easier now, we can actually like plan out like specifically like how long did people play, like what sort of portions did they spend the longest on, like is this what we expected for this section, and like at what point like did a lot of people like rage quit and not even complete the demo. So like we can
don't
gather all,
want
yeah, hopefully that's a very like low number, but like so that way when we're bringing it to the conventions, we can gather all this data, take a look at it, do some analytics, and just make sure that like, hey, like we're hitting all the goals that we want to hit with the game.
Yeah. So how will you
And
actually
when, of course, using
gathering
PAX.
that?
Sorry, Gav.
Thank you.
What was the question?
Yeah. So how will you actually be gathering that like data you just mentioned? Will it just be like pen and paper, or have you got like something like? Are you using the computer to actually?
So
look at it?
actually, Unity. Oh, my apologies. But I guess it sounded like you're almost done. So Unity itself has a built-in tool for the Pro version called Unity Analytics, which allows us to record and upload all of our data so that we can. They have their own like visualization software on the website, so that we can just take a look at it and be like, okay, like this is the percentage of whatever data that we're trying to look at. So percentage rage quit, or like average duration of the demo, like average duration of each section, that sort of thing.
Cool.
Nice. That's a really cool way of actually gathering information. I mean, obviously using packs as a marketing sort of ploy as well. But how else are you marketing the game?
Right now, we kind of just we have a Twitch stream that we use every 2 times a week, and we basically Twitch stream our dev times, and people can ask us questions, and we all just kind of hang out and goof off and make the game and work on assets. We also try and utilize.
That's cool. So,
go ahead.
I was going to say, how was that going with Twitch? Because that's one of something we haven't really seen before. Twitch being used as a marketing strategy whilst making the game. Do you get a lot of responses?
It comes and goes. We're relatively new to the Twitch streaming kind of scene. We've been doing it now for probably 6 weeks to 2 months. And actually, the Cerebral guys, they're local as well, and they actually gave us. They were like, "You guys should do this." So, and they've had pretty good success in helping market their game via their Twitch stream and Twitter. So we started doing that, and now we all kind of help market each other, and we retweet and we plug, and we're just trying to establish that nice community here in Seattle, and hoping that it kind of branches out.
Definitely. And with like the people watching your Twitch streams, do they ever kind of influence the design of the game at all? With their comments.
So far, not really. I mean, a lot of the times on the Twitch stream, we're kind of just creating assets. So a lot of it is me animating, or Zeke making sound effects, or Tony and TK developing. So we haven't really shown a lot of our actual gameplay and stuff on the Twitch stream yet either. So it will be really interesting actually to see and get feedback from the users of the Twitch stream.
Yeah, but if it's anything like the Cerebral Twitch stream, it'll just devolve into its own chat nonsense very quickly.
Yeah, it'll turn into dick jokes.
If a certain user is in there, yes.
But what do you mean turned into?
All right.
Isn't it already like that?
It starts as dick jokes, and
That's our code of conduct, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's normally Elliot that starts the dick jokes, and then Aaron will leave. But
Yeah. I'll have to take his aggressions out on Street Fighter V.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Do you ever do tournaments with the Cerebral guys? Like fighting tournaments at all?
They do have a little local scene with. They had one a couple weeks ago that was the Cerebral guys and then the Galvanic guys, and we'd like to get in on the next one.
Definitely, Battle of the Devs.
Yep.
And so you work in the same environment, don't you? The kind of the collaborative hub, isn't it? Is that right?
We don't. I guess Seattle's a very collaborative indie game hub. But Galvanic, they are stationed inside the indie game co-op, which is a really cool space here.
Yeah.
And we go there from time to time for events and to see speakers and to play demos of the local devs. And we're hoping to bring Gravastar there and kind of get feedback from them as well.
Definitely. If you got funding, would you move the team to that sort of environment to get a very developer-esque feel around you?
I mean, I think that'd be sweet if we had our own office and we had a place to go to, and we could all work together. But really, I mean, that's money.
Yeah. Any money going towards an office or a space to work together is money not going towards the game, basically.
Yeah.
So.
That is true, and that has to come first, of course.
Yeah.
Is there any particular part of the game that you guys are most excited on either working at the moment or later on down the line that is going to be kind of developed?
I mean, I can talk about that right now. So basically, right now we're working on basically getting in all of the attacks and all the combo system and making sure that it feels right. Because that's one of the things that can kill a game early on is that people play it and then people are just like, I mean, this feels clunky, it feels horrible. Like, I'm pressing the button and then all of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, something happens. Not like, I press the button and it like feels sweet because I'm punching this guy right in his face, and then I press the button again and then it does another attack immediately. Like just making sure that we get the sweet spot feel of like a full-on fighting game.
We're also adding in the rest of our mechanics and features, like our magic system, and that adds a lot of visual flourish. And a lot of our battle system, it's all about tight mechanics, tight timing, and eye candy. So once we have all those elements in, and we have a lot of them ready to go in, it's just taking time to get them all in and feeling good. I think it'll be pretty sweet.
Definitely. And with the characters, how many will the player be able to kind of get as part of their party? 'Cause, I mean, there's 4 on the main screen. Is there going to be like a lot more that you can bring in, and will that affect the combos and the chains?
Yes, we currently have 7 characters total.
Nice.
And then you are able to form a party of 3, and each character controls differently and has different attack timings, and they have different skill sets. So learning each character is a really important part of the flow of battle.
That sounds really interesting. The idea of each individual character being its own fighter. It just sounds really, really cool. I can't wait to kind of give it a go.
Awesome.
What's your favorite character out of all of them so far,
And
why?
Well, I mean, the main character, and he's pretty fun. But I'm really excited for Alma, the girl. She's our like cyber pugilist techno boxer. She's going to be really fun to develop and design and implement. She's got a lot of fast combos, and she's super fast, and her gloves do really cool things. So I'm pretty excited and looking forward to getting her in the game.
And when it comes to the story, because of course it's a massive game, have you already kind of written it all and you're kind of implementing it, or are you kind of creating the story and developing it as you go along?
We have an outline of probably the first, I don't know, several hours, and then we have the plot points that we want to hit along the way. But we're all kind of working together to collaborate on the writing and the world building. I mean, it's a JRPG, and there's no way any one of us could do this, by ourselves. So, like, I think, and the project gets stronger the more we collaborate and the more we share ideas and the more we bounce things off of each other. So, yeah, it's a pretty sweet story as well.
Can't wait to check that out. And what's it like working with I can't remember the guys you mentioned that provided some of the assets, very, very polished kind of looking assets.
Golden Skull Studios.
Yeah, what's it like working with them?
It's been great. They have they mainly provide assets to the Unity Asset Store, and they do a really good job. And they are, they've been gracious enough to take their time and really work with us to help round out the overworld assets and feel.
Is it hard ever managing quite a large team?
Yes.
In short, yeah.
It is incredibly difficult, but I mean, it's fun. I love doing it.
Yeah, it's been very nice having Derek be the spiritual and like actual leader of the group, because he like wears so many hats and does so much for the team that we can focus on our things and we contribute where we can. But Derek is he's solid. He's got this.
Well, thanks, Tony.
And were you like a creative director for previous projects, or was it a role that you've kind of molded for this particular game?
I've been in the animation and game industry now for about 8 years. And prior, I worked at Microsoft Game Studios. I was the art director at Zachtronics for 2.5 years. I did a game there called Ironclad Tactics, which is a Civil War game with steampunk robots.
Nice.
And I did some other titles there as well, and I started this after I left Zachtronics. And this has kind of been my baby.
And so is it full-time development for yourself, or are you also having a kind of a part-time job or a full-time job as well?
I'm a full-time game developer as well,
Mm.
at a corporate mobile game company.
I love how you said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he will remain nameless, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It probably won't be hard to find if
No.
you
Yeah, I
just
mean,
do a
like
simple
it's not
Google
it's not a
search.
secret. Like I can just go on the website and just look it up and look you up. So I
Yeah.
mean,
It's very easy.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I guess
most of us do work like
Mm.
full time elsewhere, and then do this as our side and life project.
Mm.
Zeke is the only one living the dream.
Yeah, I have dedicated my entire life to Derek and Gravastar, and I live for nothing else.
Get back to work.
And so, what are you guys most looking forward to for the rest of 2016?
Oh, finishing the demo.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, that's the
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TK is gonna finish the game, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Absolutely.
I'll carry all you guys.
I do think that is for me the most awesome part, just seeing, because it's been for, I guess, probably the last 2 months, just the amount of ridiculous ramp up, just the acceleration of seeing it come together is ridiculously awesome.
And I guess it will only go from strength to strength, of course, when you start taking it to PAX and start getting the public a bit of feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we get the game and get the game in people's hands, they'll start playing it and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is great," or they could be like, "Yeah, this sucks," and it's like, "Oh, well, why does it suck? Tell us more." And
Yeah.
then we'd be like, "All right, well, we tried, and then we'll get the parts that you want to get, we'll get in the game, and we won't divert from our creative ideals, but we'll do what we need to help get a awesome game out there."
Fantastic. And are there any other developers out there that you recommend, like the general public or listeners, to follow or check out, as well as yourselves, of course?
The Cerebral guys, they're a good group of dudes, and they're making awesome stuff. Galvanic, of course, they're making amazing stuff. Super good dudes. Who else we got locally? Spry Fox, they're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Tumblestone.
Games is about to
Tumblestone.
drop Moon Hunters.
Oh yeah, Kit Fox is going to drop Moon Hunters. They're really awesome. They've been helping out with getting us in contact with Square Enix, because they did the Square Enix Collective program as well, and they're doing really awesome stuff.
That game's been growing just crazy attention around it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It looks super fun.
yeah, it looks really good. Like, it's been one on my eye for the past year now, and I've been trying to actually set up an interview with them. They've been on my hit list for a long time. We'll eventually get there. when they calm
You might
down.
have better luck. You might have better luck if you stop calling it a hit list.
Yeah, that's true. Well, normally I keep it secret, so not many people know about it.
Until now.
Yeah, until now.
And so, where can we, the public, find you guys? Where's the best place to get in contact?
Our
Check it
website, gravastargame.com. We have Twitter at Studio Atma. We have a Facebook page that we rarely update because Facebook is kind of meh. Also, our Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Studio Atma, where people can hang out with us 2 times a week.
Yeah, that's the most fun one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's
you
when
want
you
to
want to
hear
see
about.
people on.
I'm just saying, if you want to hear about balls all the time, I mean, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Oh, dick and balls.
Get your
Yeah.
fix. Dick fix? Cool.
Fantastic. Ow, any follow-up questions?
No,
Me?
I'm good.
Ow. Alistair. Well, it's been awesome, guys. Really, really fun. I'm really glad you could take the time out of your busy days to chat to us on Huge Update.
Thanks for having us. This has been great.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Al, do you want to do the awkward outro?
Yeah, of course I can. So thank you so much again for coming and doing a little interview with us all, 5 of you. It was awkward at the beginning, but
Wow.
we've got there in the end. So thank you so much. We've been Huge Update. There's been another episode of Huge Update interviews, and we're all going to say awkwardly goodbye now. So goodbye.
Goodbye now.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
There we go.